What's up everyone out in YouTube land, and welcome to another episode of GBA. In this video I am going to be unboxing a brand new Oculus Quest. So yeah, I've actually been wanting to pick one of these up ever since they came out. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. This is a all-in-one VR unit. And to be honest with you, it's kind of an affordable option when you're looking for VR. I've had several different VR units, including the HTC. I've had an Oculus Rift. I currently have a PlayStation VR that you might be able to see over here as well. So this is definitely one that I wanted to try out and see if it's worth the money. And I also kind of want to talk a little bit about how it compares to the PlayStation VR once I get some first impressions of it. Because I'm sure, as you probably know, the PSVR is actually a pretty affordable way to do VR as well, especially if you already have a PlayStation 4 or even better a PS4 Pro like I do. And just for reference, I absolutely love PlayStation VR. I actually only typically use my PlayStation now for VR. It's just fun. I enjoy it. Some of the games they have are fantastic, and some of the games they've released on the Oculus Quest I'm very excited to try. I did remove the outer plastic from the box just for time purposes, but I haven't opened it yet. So let's go ahead and do an unboxing of this real quick and see what's on the inside. And then once I play with it a little bit, I'll do a second part of this video where we compare it to the PSVR, and if I feel like it's worth the $399 price tag that I paid. So it looks like there's basically like a slip cover on it. But first let me show you around the box. So, you know, there's the front, obviously. Top. Bottom. Both sides are just plain black. And then on the backs, you see some advertisements for some of the games back there too. So yeah, let's take the slip cover off of it. And underneath the slip cover, you pretty much just have a black box. It has the Oculus symbol. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the Oculus symbol is right there. Alright, so once we slide this up, that's the inside of the top of the box, we are greeted with the actual unit itself. So this is the actual VR headset. My first impressions is it's a pretty sleek design. I like it. To be honest with you, I was a little bit worried because the box itself is pretty darn heavy. So I was afraid the headset would be, too heavy. But just first impressions is it's not that bad. So we'll see how comfortable it is when you obviously put it on your head or whatnot. But yeah, so here's the actual VR unit. And like I said before, this is all in one, so you don't have to have this hooked up to a PC or anything like that. As a matter of fact, this is pretty much a wires-free experience, which is one of the selling points of this. But yeah, so you got your VR unit. And then right after you take that out, it's easy to access the actual controls for the unit. So here we go. My first impressions with these are they're very comfortable to hold. It's easy to get to all the buttons. The analog sticks feel good. So yeah, pretty happy with this so far. I mean, they feel great. So now you've got the headset and you've got the actual controllers that you use. Looks like we have a box to the side here that probably stores all of the wires and different things like that. So let's go ahead and open this. It's like a magnetized box. So on the inside of this, it looks like you have the thing that you can put on the inside of the visor if you wear glasses. Because basically you want to have a spacer so you can wear your prescription glasses if you want to do that. I don't wear glasses, so obviously this won't be much of a use for me. But yeah, I'm sure for people who do have glasses, this is a great thing to include in the package. So you have the AC wall adapter. Looks like this takes like micro USB to charge or whatnot. So you have the actual charging cable. And after this box is empty. So it comes with 2 AA batteries, which is always nice. Instruction booklets. Pretty thick, might I add. And a reference guide. Probably like a quick start or whatnot. But yeah, so that appears like pretty much it. So it's a very basic package. There's not a whole lot in here. But obviously, you know, everything you need to get started. So yeah, once again, to recap the important parts at least real quick, you have the actual head unit, the VR unit itself. You have the 2 wireless controllers that come with the system, which feel great, by the way, like I said. All of this feels like extremely good quality. So you got your 2 controllers. You got your AA batteries and your instruction booklets. AC wall adapter. Your charging cable. And the spacer for people who wear glasses. Yeah, so pretty basic unboxing, but still kind of neat and fun to see what it looks like on the inside. And once again, this is the slip cover for the box. On the back here, it advertises some of the games that I'm pretty stoked to try out. Dead and Buried 2, I heard, was real fun. Creed Rise to Glory is great on the PlayStation VR, so I'm sure it's probably even better here because, once again, no wires. And the Star Wars Vader Immortal, which is one of the things I'm super excited to try. I heard it was very short, but it's only $10, and I know they're going to release some more chapters, so yeah, I'm pretty excited to try that. But yeah, so until the second part of this video comes out, I want to say thank you for tuning in and watching this, and just stay tuned for my thoughts on if it's worth the $399 and how I compare it to the PlayStation VR. Alright, so see you soon. What's going on, guys? Thanks for sticking around to the second part of this video where I give you my impressions on the Oculus Quest, and I kind of compare it to the PSVR since I feel like those are probably the 2 most cost-effective ways to get the true VR experience with 6 degrees of motion. If you see me look down, I did write a couple bullet points on some paper that I want to talk about, just so I don't leave much out. But I guess to start with, my first impressions of the Oculus Quest is that it's amazing. I absolutely love this thing. I can't put it down. And because it's cord-free, and you can kind of take it wherever you want, it's just too easy to take it around the house with you. So I find myself sitting on the living room couch fishing, and then I come in here and play some tennis or something like that where I can move around a little bit more. It's just really easy to pick up and play this. So a couple things about the price point. There's two different price points for this. You have the 64 gigabyte model, which is what I have here. It's $399, obviously, plus tax. Then you have the 128 gigabyte model that's $499 plus tax. I opted to get the 64 gigabyte model because honestly, that's probably enough space for me. And if it's not, I could always just sell this and get a bigger one. I do wish that they had a way where you could expand the memory on it, expand the space and the storage space or whatnot, but it is what it is. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the games. So, this is still a fairly new piece of equipment, so the games are pretty limited, but I'm here to tell you though, there's something for everybody out there for the Oculus Quest. I think I've bought, in the last 2 days or so, I've bought, 4 or 5 games. I got like a zombie beat-em-up game, I got a couple of sports games, I got Vader Immortal, and I've also played a lot of Beat Saber, which I've previously played on PlayStation VR. So pricing-wise, I think that the games for the Oculus Quest are very reasonably priced. Most games on there, low end you're looking at $10, high end most of them are around $30, and there's quite a few that fall in the middle at the $14.99 or $19.99 price point. Now these aren't the most in-depth games. It's not something that you're going to play for a few hundred hours, but as far as VR gaming goes, I like the games a whole bunch, and I think the price points are pretty good because I've been getting a lot of great play out of these games and at not that much money. And one of the games I'm actually playing a whole bunch is a fishing game, and ironically enough, it was free. Now granted, they give you like 3 lakes, so to unlock the rest of the game you have to pay, but they give you a whole lot of content for free and you can spend hours just playing that. So when you go to the PlayStation VR, I kind of like the games on there a bit better. There's a lot more fleshed out games. Some of the exclusives are amazing on PlayStation VR, but you're also going to pay more for those typically too. So I mean, for games, it's kind of a wash. I like PlayStation VR, I like a lot of the exclusives they have, but I'm having a blast with the games on the Oculus Quest. So next, let's go ahead and talk about the screens and the visuals, resolution, type of stuff like that. Going in it, I'm going to be honest, I thought that the PlayStation VR was going to have better visuals than the Quest, but I was completely shocked when I first started playing the Quest because the games look better on the Quest than they do on the PlayStation VR. And after doing a little bit of research, I come to find out that the Quest just has a better screen in it, plus the Oculus Quest has a better resolution than the PlayStation VR. Now, I guess that's not something that should be too shocking because the PlayStation VR is a lot older than the Quest. I just kind of figured with the horsepower from the PS4 Pro that you could get some better visuals, but I reckon when it comes to the screens, this just knocks the PlayStation VR out of the park. So, shockingly enough, visuals goes to the Quest. I think the games look amazing on the Quest. Things are very sharp and crisp, but the colors look great. I think about the only place the PlayStation VR has a little bit of an edge is on refresh rate. But to be completely honest with you, I haven't really noticed any big differences between the two. I went back and played some PSVR after I spent some time with the Quest, and if you look online, it says that the refresh rate and everything's better on PlayStation VR, but I don't know, in a normal gaming situation, I haven't been able to tell. So next, we'll go with the sound. So I don't have any headphones yet for the Quest, so I can't really speak on that too much. But the PlayStation VR sounds great, especially with headphones, so you can be fully immersed into the situation. But obviously, if you don't have headphones, the audio is coming out of the television. Well, the Quest has built-in speakers, and I'm going to tell you, they are great. I really haven't felt like I missed much not having headphones or earbuds in. the sound is great on the Quest, and it does a really good surround sound effect as well. So, I mean, once again, it's hard to compare the two because it's a little bit different. But if you're going for just standard sound with no headphones or no earbuds, I like the Quest better than the sound coming from the television set or surround sound. So I think the Quest just in standard sound has a little bit of an edge. Now the Quest, the volume doesn't go up very high, but like I said, it works perfectly fine for what it is. Alright, so price point. And we talked about this a little bit before. I paid $399 for this. Some people might think that that's not worth it, but in my opinion, this is very much worth $399, especially if you want to get into VR gaming. I think that this is a great value for the money. Now, obviously, PlayStation VR, if you already have a PS4 Pro, you can pick up a used VR headset for not that much money. And also, if you go to like Walmart or Target, they have a bunch of VR bundles for the PlayStation that are pretty cheap. So if you have a PS4 Pro, that might be a good route for you to go. But if you just want a standalone gaming console, the Quest is definitely what you want to go with. It's great. So weight and comfort. I'll be honest, when I first got this at the store, the box was very heavy. So I was a little bit concerned with the weight. As you know, this is an all-in-one unit, so I was a little bit worried about the headset being too heavy and also front heavy. But once I got the headset out of the box, to be honest with you, the headset's not that bad. Now it is a little bit front heavy, so you kind of feel that tugging a little bit, but honestly, you get used to it and it's not that bad. And after doing some research, it actually seems like the Oculus Quest headset is a little bit lighter than the PSVR headset, which I was a little bit shocked by because, like I said, the Quest is all-in-one and the PSVR isn't. So I just kind of figured that the Quest would be heavier than the PlayStation VR. But like I said, from doing a little bit of research, it actually appears like the Quest headset is slightly lighter. I have seen people hook battery packs up to the Quest because, you know, it's rechargeable, and they'll actually put the battery pack in the back head strap, and that kind of evens out the weight, the back and the front. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not going to do that because I really don't see, it's not that big of a deal. Now, the comfortability of it, it's comfortable, but I might change the inner lining on the Quest because the padding isn't as good as the PlayStation VR in my opinion, and I know that I've seen some aftermarket solutions for that. Also, you get a little bit of light bleed in with the Quest in its stock mode, so I might change out that piece so I get a little bit more cushioning and less light bleeding in. But, you know, I'm not overly like seeking that out. It's just something I might do in the future. So one of the big drawbacks for the Quest for me is no physical media. I'll be completely honest with you. I am a game collector and I hate digital games. I really do not like spending money on digital games. There's a lot of PlayStation VR games that I've missed out on because they're digital only. So when I found out this was digital only, it kind of sucks, but in a way, since I have no way of playing physical games on here, I'm actually a little bit more okay with buying digital games for the Quest. So some of those games that I've never played before, I'm getting to play. Like Super Hot. I haven't gotten it yet, but that's one that I've been wanting to check out for a long time. And honestly, I just didn't want to buy it digitally on the PlayStation VR, but I will buy it on here. So it kind of sucks that there is no physical media for the Quest, but in a way it's not terrible because I can collect physical VR games for the PlayStation, and this just be a digital machine for me, and I'm honestly okay with it. Do I wish I had those games that I could touch and put in the system myself? Of course. But, you know, I thought that would bother me a little bit more, but I'm actually kind of okay with this being digital only. But like I said, I love physical media and I'm going to continue to collect all the physical VR games I can for the PlayStation. So the last part I'm going to talk about is the controllers. So the PlayStation VR, you can use the standard PlayStation 4 controller, but for immersive and effects and stuff like that, if the game supports it, I strongly suggest using the Move controllers for PlayStation VR. And they work fine. The tracking is good. But to be honest with you, the Quest, the controllers that they include on here in the package are amazing. The tracking on them seems better than the Move controllers. The controllers themselves seem much more comfortable in your hands than the Move controllers. And the functionality of the Quest controllers are amazing too. I have had no issues with the Quest controllers. They're super high quality and they're comfortable, and I love the button placement of them. The analog sticks feel great. So yeah, I mean, if you're going for a control aspect, I love the Quest controllers. I think they're so much better than the Move controllers. Even though, like I said, the Move controllers work fine enough. It's just, these are just better. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Speaking of that, everything on this system feels quality. The headset, the controllers. I mean, everything is very well made. So speaking of tracking and different things like that, you know, for the PlayStation VR, you have to have a camera for the 6 degrees of motion. And on the Quest, it has the cameras built into the headset. And I just feel like that works a whole lot better than the PlayStation camera being, you know, your tracking thing. I don't know, it just seems like it tracks your movement better. But that could just be me. The PlayStation camera works okay. But you know, a lot of times that's going to depend on where you put the PlayStation camera as well. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get too technical in this. I kind of wanted to just keep it very basic and just give my thoughts on it. And maybe that could help anybody out there that's going to be looking for a VR headset. I'm glad I picked one of these up. I did wait a little bit. Like I said, I just haven't had time to get around to it. But I am really glad I got one of these. You know, if you can't really afford this, or if you don't want to spend the money on it, they do have the Oculus Go as well, and I've seen those go for pretty cheap used, and for brand new you can pick them up for $199. Those are great for watching movies and videos, but they're not the best option for gaming though, because unlike the Quest and PlayStation VR, the Oculus Go is just 3 degrees of motion. So if you're gaming, I strongly suggest going with that 6 degrees of motion. It just makes a world of difference. But yeah, so once again, guys, I appreciate you sticking around for both parts of this video and listening to me talk about my Quest and watching me unbox it. But I think I'm going to end the video here so I can go play some games. So until next time, guys, see you later.